And both are firing back.
We're not going to let John McCain distract us. We're not going to let him hoodwink you or bamboozle you. We're not going to let him run the okey doke on you. Y'all know about the okey doke here in Asheville, North Carolina?
It is so good to be here, and as I say, there's a time to take the gloves off. And as one of our campaign staffers reminded me as I'm walking out, he goes, okay, now the heels are on, the gloves come off. Okay.
Tucker Bounds is spokesman for the McCain campaign. Tucker, I trust that it was not you who said, okay, the heels are on, the gloves are off.
You can trust that, Andrea. That is true.
Let me, first of all, talk to you about this attack from over the weekend. Sarah Palin was the person who, took it to the Obama campaign first on Saturday. This is what she had to say in talking about William Ayers, a 60s radical, founder of the Weather Ground, who the Obama campaign says the senator has not talked to him since he entered the Senate. Let's listen.
Our opponent is someone who sees America as imperfect enough to pal around with terrorists who targeted their own country. Obama held one of his first meetings of his political career in Bill Ayers' living room. And they've worked together on various projects in Chicago.
Now, today it was worked together on various projects. The other day it was palled around. The other day it was a domestic terrorist. Now it's former domestic terrorist. Be that as it may, she seems to have modulated her voice a little bit. But the point is, do people care about this stuff, given that the markets are down more than 500 points? The Congress passed a 700-plus bailout bill, or rescue plan, if you prefer, last week. There are bigger issues here than what happened back in the 60s.
Well, yeah, there's an enormous issue here, and that's honesty. Like you said earlier, you said that his campaign said that he hadn't spoken to unrepentant terrorist Bill Ayers since he's been in the Senate. But Barack Obama himself just a couple weeks ago said that hadn't talked to him in a year and a half. That would include a year and a half of time during his time in the Senate. This morning, Robert Gibbs, his senior advisor, said that Barack Obama did not know about his unrepentant terrorist background when he met him in 1995, but continued a long-standing relationship, a working relationship, a friendly relationship, as David Axelrod, his chief strategist, said. So it's really more than just his relationship with nefarious character and more about his honesty. When he's talking about taxes, and he's talking about raising taxes on the middle class and his votes in support of higher taxes on the middle class, and he said that didn't happen, that is a lie. And when he talks about this relationship, he lies about
that over and over, and so have the various fact-check organizations. But let me just ask you, Bill Ayers, no matter what you think about what he did before, he's now an advisor to Mayor Daley. He's a professor of education. So when he met Barack Obama, he was a member of the education reform movement in the city of Chicago, part of the civic structure. I'm just bringing to you the biographical facts here.
I completely understand who Bill Ayers is, but I also think the American people deserve to be informed on Election Day. And they should know that if they're going to vote for Barack Obama, they're going to vote for somebody they support for president who has a long-standing relationship with someone that targeted American targets, targeted American bombings here at the United States Capitol. The Pentagon has been pictured standing on the American flag and continued a relationship with him. That's something I think voters find alarming. I don't know many voters that can say, oh, my friend who happens to have formed an unrepentant terrorist organization that targeted American sites and landmarks. I mean, that's the question here is, do voters trust that what Barack Obama is saying about the economy is true? His record, he is continually misrepresented. He's misrepresented John McCain's record on health care, on taxes, on spending, and we're here to say we're fighting back. We're not going to just let him tell falsehoods and lies on the campaign trail.
Does anything go? Let me just share with you something that came from our reporter Matt Berger out on the campaign trail covering Sarah Palin today. The sheriff of Lee County, Florida, at a Palin rally introducing her, just introduced her and referred to Obama as Barack Hussein Obama. On November 4th, let's leave Barack Hussein Obama wondering what happened, the sheriff told the crowd at Germain Arena. Is that part of the deal?
Well, I think that part of the deal is that we're going to talk about the issues. We are going to talk about the issues. I don't want to get into the specifics of someone that's unaffiliated with our campaign. I think
he's the person introducing
John McCain,
the vice presidential nominee.
Well, certainly,
at your
and John McCain has castigated that type of language before. In fact, unprompted, this happened one time before, and he went directly to the cameras right at the end of the event and said, "I do not condone that, and I condemn using Barack Obama's middle name in terms that he would feel uncomfortable with, I believe." But look, that is a minor issue in part of a larger issue about Barack Obama's honesty with voters. I mean, I don't care what his middle name is, but if he's telling voters lies about our candidate and lies about his own record on taxes and spending and what he's going to do to this American economy, then I think he needs to be held to account.
Speaking of holding to account, let me bring to you your new ad, which is called Dangerous. And this is an ad about what Barack Obama supposedly said about Afghanistan. Let me play it for you.
Who is Barack Obama? He says our troops in Afghanistan are
just air raiding villages and killing civilians.
How dishonorable.
Now, according to factcheck.org, what Obama really said in August in New Hampshire was this: we've got to get the job done there, and that requires us to have enough troops so that we're not just air raiding villages and killing civilians, which is causing enormous problems there. Isn't that misleading?
I think that you just said the quote, and I find that, as most voters do, to be a little bit circumspect. When he says that we're just air raiding villages and bombing civilians, that is not what our American military is doing in Afghanistan, and that hasn't been what they've been doing since they've gotten there. I think that when somebody's applying to be the commander-in-chief and they characterize an entire mission in Afghanistan as
not the way
just
he
air raiding,
it, but
no, that's exactly what he said.
According to the
Andrea.
Associated Press, a check of the facts shows that Western forces have been killing civilians at a faster rate than the insurgents have been killing civilians.
As
of August 1st, the
Are you
AP
saying
count
that they're
shows
just killing civilians and air raiding villages? Is that what American voters are left to believe, that that's exactly what's going on in Afghanistan, is we're simply doing those things? Because that's what Barack Obama said. He said, "We're just if you don't provide additional troops, then we're just doing these things."
But that's not the way I'm reading his sentence. We've got to do the job here, and that requires us to have enough troops, exactly, so that we're not just air raiding villages and killing civilians, which is causing enormous problems there.
And I think it's offensive to say that our American military is just air raiding villages and bombing civilians. That's not what they're doing. I don't think the American people will stand for a commander-in-chief that believes that our military is just air raiding villages and bombing civilians. That's just not what's happening.
And looking forward to the debate, is this are these the issues that you think are going to be debated by the candidates tomorrow night?
Absolutely. We will absolutely talk not only tomorrow night, where they will debate these issues, but we'll talk all the way to Election Day about Barack Obama's readiness. And I think we will take into account whether he is prepared to be commander-in-chief and is willing to make comments like that, disregarding the sacrifice of our hardworking troops in the field, voting against funding after he said that it would be irresponsible to do so,
Tucker,
as well as some of these associations.
Are these blind quotes accurate that we're reading everywhere the last couple of days, that senior advisors say we can't keep talking about the economy because we can't win on the economy? Are you guys trying to avoid talking about the economy?
No, I mean, it's absurd, because we are talking about the economy. John McCain's going to be talking about the economy exclusively today. We are talking about the economy. 3/4 of every speech that is given by either one of our candidates is about the economy. Our ads are about the economy. But we're talking about the economy in truthful terms. We're talking about Barack Obama's votes in favor of support for higher taxes for the middle class. We're talking about his expensive mandates on small businesses that'll drive up layoffs and unemployment in this country at a time when the middle class is hurting. We're talking about, in real terms, what Barack Obama means for this economy, and it's not a good thing, Andrea.
Okay, Tucker, am I going to see you in Nashville, I hope?
Absolutely.
Okay, see you there.
Thanks, Andrea.
And up next, the battle in the battleground states with just 1 month